Why did Joe Biden fall at Air Force event?
There are many reasons, let me explain. It's a careless act on the event staff that constructed the stage and the crew that set up the entire event.
During a performance last night, the students at Westfield High School were wrapping up the performance of American Pie, singing and dancing with their...
You're probably wondering, who is this person? Oh, well, just wait. I'm someone who has worked in the event world for many years. Surprisingly, a lot of those years was event set up for the government.
I'm from the government with an update on how we're handling.
So let me explain in detail. Are you ready?
Working in the public sector, aka working for the government, can seem like a very cushy and desirable job.
There's a lot of people online who are suggesting that Joe Biden fell because he is showing signs of dementia, and that increased falling is part of the dementia process. And he does fall pretty frequently in the last 2 years as president. However, I am not a physician, so I have no clue. Let's move on.
Tension syndrome, I ain't buying. You go to the doctor, you get a note, and then you tell me you have a problem.
A lot of people are saying that the falling is just it's a natural part of Joe Biden's age. I believe he is 80 years old right now. Joe is at a part of his life where balancing oneself, or falling gracefully is not the same as it was when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, and he's not who he was 20 years ago. So when you see Joe fall, it's not graceful. He's 80 years old. It's probably normal to the majority of people at that age bracket.
After that trip and fall after a dinner at the Waldorf Astoria here in Washington.
And that is that sandbags in an event are extremely dangerous unless you're trying to build a fort, which this is an Air Force ceremony. Maybe they thought they were. And the military loves sandbags, like building a fort, fortifications, maybe a little pillow for someone's head while they're waiting.
When he turned to go back to his seat, he tripped over a sandbag. He was helped up and then sat down and watched the rest of the ceremony.
In an event setup, you never want to use sandbags unless you have to, like it's an emergency. There's no other option. But there's other reasons, there's other options to take. See if there's another way that you can fasten whatever it needs to be fastened down first. You can strap it down. Maybe if it's possible, best case scenario, it can be bolted down. It's pretty rare, but you should see. Option is slender weights that you could possibly, like weights that you would see like in a gym. We had those. They're specific for that. They're slender, they're less hazardous. Can't trip on them as well. Some people just use weights like in a gym. That's another option. If you have to use a weighted sandbag like they did, it's a ceremony, it's for the president. I would think they would go all out. I don't know. Maybe budget cuts, debt ceiling stuff. You hide it under a box. Maybe you put stuff on top of the box. Now you can't see the sandbag, or put some flowers in front of it so that it's more obvious that this obstacle is there. Now, some people will do too much and use a sandbag for like a cord. That's a huge mistake. You could use duct tape, but it looks bad. Or there's rubber runners that you can put over them. If you don't have that, you can use a rubber mat or just any kind of mat to cover it, because you can walk over it and not trip. And then if you use a sandbag, to the average brain, they don't like it. It looks unprofessional. People get upset. So, like I said, this is a presidential event. I don't know who's running it. You need someone to run your presidential events? I would do it. Well, for a decent wage, but I would do it. Hit me up. Joe is 80 years old, but I have seen people event, every kind of event you can imagine. I feel like I've worked, all ages, any type of person can fall over anything.
In a video obtained by E! News, the musician is seen taking a nasty tumble through a trap door on stage during his...
A lot of people assume too, if you tell the speaker like, oh look, there's a hazard, oh watch these stairs, oh watch this ramp, oh watch this cord, they won't remember, because by the time the event has begun, there's so much going on in here. There is no way they're going to remember that. Some do, but it's like 2%. Like I said previously, Joe is not who he was 20 years ago. There's so much going on. You're doing the most stressful job in the world, maybe not the world, but in our country for sure. You're not going to remember that. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, because this was embarrassing. And, you know what? I'm going to go on Joe's defense. It was embarrassing because of the person who set it up. Like, in events, things happen, mistakes happen all the time. I feel like this one just could have been avoided pretty easily. I'm not even on the level on a presidential campaign level, but I would have seen this as mistake 101. Get that out of there. Fix it. I would have said, fix that now.